Hello Geeks and Gamers, Matt Lemke here with Through Gamer Goggles, and today it's a role-playing day flip through for you. This is the Occult Mysteries for the Pathfinder campaign setting, and this book is a little bit different than a lot of the books they've done in the past. There's not a lot of art in this book. It's really a lot of text. There's a lot of meat to this book. It starts off with the introduction, goes over here, the mysterious occultist. Basically, it talks about some of the different authors' approaches and things that they felt was important for this book. Mysteries of Galarian. Basically, this chapter is plot hooks in mysteries, and it goes over what plot hooks are the seed for an idea or a concept that can be rooted in your adventure for several game sessions. But then they beg the question of why mysteries. And as you go through here and you flip through what some of these mysteries are, like we have the Octurn Enigma and things like that. It's sometimes the mystery isn't so much about fulfilling it or doing it. It's about the chase, and that's what makes it exciting. So basically, the mysteries beg the question that the players want to ask and keep them moving through the adventure. I was fond of the creation myths section, especially dragons. I have a little bit of a thing for dragons, but I really found that the Exodus of the Gnomes was a good read. Veiled Monsters was too, but moving into the secret societies have some different things that they do. Obviously, being part of a society, like you've seen in some of the other books, they offer certain benefits, like certain skills, certain amount. Fame does certain things for each different society. They also allow you to specialize in certain things, and then they talk about leaving a society and how some you can just freely leave, or others. They have a penalty for doing so, like death. I was fond of the Anaphexia, largely because they're assassins, and I've always liked assassins in role-playing games. But what really got me was the little brief part of history here that talks about the Blood and Shadow Countess Robeska, court of the cult of Norgorber. Which I thought was a good read, and made me interested in them a little bit more. The other group that I thought was worth mentioning was the Knights of the Ion Star. Not because, they're knights. I do like knights, and many people know that, but more because of what they do. They're kind of like these, for lack of a better word that comes to my mind, I'm going to say obsolete guardians of wisdom, who hand it down from generation to generation, but yet they still practice and fulfill their thing, even though the current state of the world hasn't necessarily called them out. And then after the occult mysteries, you move into, or after the secret societies, you move into esoteric traditions, which is things like astrology, numerology, spiritualism, things like that. I liked the astrology section. I've always liked things with the star and understanding astrology and what it meant in a historical fashion. So the fact that they took it and they put it into the game world, I was very pleased with. The Harrow deck is pretty cool. It adds a lot more detail, or I should say the Harrow adds a lot more detail to using things like the Harrow deck in your game. They actually have a series of plot twists here that goes on for a couple pages. Mortification adds a new prestige class, which has the Disciple of Pain special ability, which basically is you torture yourself for X amount of time, and based off of which torture you do, you grant yourself a temporary enhancement bonus. For example, flexibility grants you +2 dexterity for 24 hours. Numerology, which also brings some spells to the game. And then in the last chapter, they have occult magical items, basically. Excuse me. That do things like allow you to communicate with the spirit, or do things of that nature. That all things that basically revolve around the occult. For example, the Trumpet of Spirit Speaking is a cone. Where is it? A Trumpet of Spirit Speaking allows actual communication with the spirits of the deceased once per day, when its mouthpiece is placed to the lips of the mostly intact corpse, the user can ask up to 3 questions of a dead creature. So I thought it was pretty cool. The last chapter talks about occult writings. And occult writings are, well, here you go. In addition to the 6 volumes detailed in this chapter, the Pathfinder campaign setting features a number of other occult texts which are described elsewhere or left up to the individual GMs to flesh out as their needs and inspirations dictate to them. So basically this is a list of other things that they didn't cover that they may or may not come back to in time and chat about. And a couple of them they talk about in great detail, like the Book of 1,000 Whispers has a lot of good information on it. The Inward Facing Circle, the Lost Gospels of Tabris, and so on. So, this book, it wasn't quite what I was anticipating, but after my interview with Eric Mona at Gen Con, I should have been ready for that change. They're doing the occult more like it's a, not so much like other fantasy games do, because when you think of occult, you think of speaking with the dead, you think of ghosts, you think of, you know, spiritual things. In effect, most role-playing games approach them as there's some sort of magic. I get the impression that Pathfinder is taking the approach that they are something different. They might have magic in origin or something of that nature, but they're not magic in the way that you would understand it. They're like something unique. And with that said, this book is a good book. Not a book that I'm probably going to use right off the bat. It's going to be something that I might use to seed some adventures. I think it's a great GM's tool. Thanks for watching. This has been a flip through with Matt Lemke from Through Gamer Goggles, gamer-goggles.com. Every Thursday is RPG Day, so stop back and check us out. If we don't have anything up on our YouTube channel, check out our website, gamer-goggles.com. We will always have something new every Thursday. Have a good day.